Welcome to my channel, and I'm back with you once again with another video of X-Plane 11. A few days back, I just explored this plane, the 737 NG series by Threshold, and it's amazing. This is an amazing plane if you are into X-Plane 11, and if you love flying the Zibo mod 737-800, you will enjoy all the series. For this plane, there is a 800 series, plus there is a 600, 700, and 900. So for this video, I am using the 800 737 800, and it's amazing. The experience is amazing. I've only done one flight with this plane. Actually, yesterday I wanted to do a video, but due to the cabin pressurization issue, my flight was not completed and I had to abandon that flight. It was a disaster. Wasted my time, 2 hours of my time. Anyhow, so today I'm back once again. I wanted to do this flight and wanted to share it with you. All the features and everything. You can see the cockpit is really amazing. It's really good. And before I proceed further, let's go into the tab and let's explore a few features in the configuration. And you can see in the hardware, set the nose wheel axis to yaw. I have to set it because then it's easy to taxi. Otherwise, if you keep it on, I haven't tried roll and veer. But if it is on, then it's very difficult to taxi the plane on the runway. So it's very difficult to turn it. So let's get back and display and variants. And let's go to system, heads up display for the captain. Let's turn it on because this has the option to do this. And plus in general configuration, I changed the global units to kgs because I am more comfortable in calculating the fuel and the weight in kgs rather than pounds. And I also use the same unit in the sim brief for the flight planning, which I will be going to that option again. So you can see it's really amazing. Right now I'm in at the Lahore airport, which is Islamabad International Airport, and I will be flying to Islamabad International Airport, a short 40 to 45 minutes flight. So I hope you will enjoy this flight with me. So all the tab thing is done. Now we have to turn on the battery. So let's go here and let's turn on the battery. And hopefully today it is a safe flight without any issues and everything. Okay, so just for the procedures, let's go to the ground services and connect the GPU. Once it's connected, I can turn on the GPU and ground power is on. Let's go here and you can see the DC volt selector. Set it to battery, it's already there, and the AC selector to ground power. So you can see we are getting the good voltage and everything is good. So this is check, disengage the master caution, we don't need it. And let's check one more thing, hydraulic pumps off, and the fuel pumps over here, they're also off. Okay, now it's time to go with the interior lights. Let's first of all remove the yoke. And lights are full. We don't need this because it's daylight. And pedestal light, we can increase it from here. Really looks nice in the night. Okay. And one more thing over here, the panel brightness. Let's increase it. Okay. So these features are also working. And so let's check these two options, cabin utility and IFE pass seat. This is on. That's it. Emergency lights armed. Okay, position light steady. And let's now go and do the fuel calculation and the passenger calculation. But before we do this, let's go to SimBrief and quickly make a flight plan from OPLA to OPIS, and let's alternate airport. If you want, we can select OPST, which is Sialkot near to Lahore, and plus Islamabad, it's almost in the middle. Okay, and let's select the airframe will be 737. It's so embarrassing. Every time when you're trying to make video, these things happen. You can't find it. Sorry for this. And the cost in this is 20, and passengers full. Flight altitude will be 25,000 feet. So everything is good. Flight path is also good. I've been doing this flight for quite a long time, so I know that this is the right flight path. And here you go. So right now you can see that the zero fuel weight is 60878. Let's go over here and let's set this. So it is, let's find the difference, and I will calculate the difference over here. Okay, so we're back here, and you can see the zero fuel weight for the plane is 43,104, which is the current weight, zero fuel weight. But with the given passengers and the cargo, it should be 60,000. So what I'm going to do is this, that I'm going to find the difference between 60,878 and the current zero fuel weight of the plane, and I will find the difference and I will enter it over here, which is 17,774, and let's set the weight. Okay, so you can see it gets updated in a while. Okay, and you can see now it's updated, and the fuel will be, you can see now it's 60,878, exactly whatever we entered in the sim brief, or as per the operation flight plan of the sim brief. Now the fuel is you can see it's 5.3 tons, which is 5,279. So 5,279. Let's set the fuel, and the fuel is set. Let's get back and call for the fuel truck. And once you call for the fuel truck, you will see the fueling will begin over here in the left and the right tank. Okay, so now the fueling is done, and we have set the payload, which is important for the takeoff, and that's done. Now let's check for the recirculation fans. Recirculation fans are set to auto. That's good. Packs, left and right packs for the air conditioning, set to auto. Let's check if the autopilot is off. Yes, disengaged. Speed brake is off. And now we can do the engine fire test. Yes, we can check if it's working. So it's working, and we can go for the cargo test. And if I go over here in the after overhead panel, we have, sorry for this, we have the stall warning test. It's working. The Mach airspeed warning test, it's working. And if you check the flaps, working, everything is working good. And if I go in here and go for the light test, so all the lights are on and up in the cockpit, so there is no issue. You can see everything is working perfectly all right over here. And this option is also working, which is good. Okay, so this is all set, and now let's set the iris to nav so that we can have the GPS navigation, and turn this option to heading and /STS. 7 minutes for the iris alignment, which is good. Now we have to program the flight management computer, or the FMC. Let's go over here and let's go to this option, position initialization, and the departure airport is OPLA. First clear this, then you will see OPLA. Oh, this one. Okay. No need to enter the gate. It's not necessary. Just pick up these GPS coordinates, enter them here. Okay, done. So for the route, origin is OPLA, and destination is OPIS. Flight number AA. This is the initial of my name. And runway is 36 right. So 36 right. Done. activate and execute. Now let's go to the next page and start entering the information from the flight plan. We have to enter the waypoints and the airways. So let's go and check. So this is the first waypoint, OMUKI. I like switching like this. I don't write it down somewhere else, but I like it. Okay, and J220 to, I think, Salna, SALNA, and direct to Sal. It's L Salna, and direct to Sialkot, SLT. And I will wait for this option. Yeah, it just came up. Then direct to Indek. So INDEK. And that's it. Now let's go to departure and let's set the departure. And it is this. Set as departure. Arrival. Arrival will be at the runway. Which runway I've selected? 28, right? And this is the star. 28, right? ILS 28, right? And let's go here and let's enter this. And this is the transition. Execute and done. If you go into this option, you will see there is no discontinuity. Great. So the flight plan is up, and that's it. So everything is looking good. Okay. So I can go here. Performance initialization. Cruising altitude is flight level 250. Let's enter this. Now let's check the winds at the cruising altitude. And you can see over here, top of cruise, it's 206.029. So from 206 degrees, the direction, and the wind speed is 029 knots. So 206.029. 206/029. So, well, oops. And let's check the IESA deviation. And you can just see it from here. This is M01. 01. And we have this temperature as well. And reserves. Let's check the reserves. So in the flight plan, we can find it over here. And under, yes, fairness plus alternate. This is 2.7 tons. So 2.7 tons over here. And cost index is 20. Done and execute. Now N1 limit, we can set it afterwards when we are ready for the pushback. Then we can set the takeoff information. But right now we can just set it right now because we are just experimenting the flight. So we can do this. Flaps, I'll take off with 5 degrees of flaps. And with this we have the speeds for the V1. V2 is 147, and let's click this. We have the center of gravity. So that's it. So this is all. And let's now go and start this plane and try the flight. So you can see over here that the center fuel tank is empty and the left and right have fuel in it. So let's turn on the fuel pumps. APU first start and then leave it to on. Now let's go to the EFIS, that is the electronic flight instrument system, and we have to set this thing to map. Otherwise, while creating the flight plan, we actually set it to the plan, and we see, oh, it's started to come up. We can see it. Okay, so you can increase or decrease the range of the navigation display. And over here, if you go into this option legs and you keep on pressing the button step, it will take you through the complete flight plan. So this is the flight plan. Okay, so right now I will switch to map because this is the view that we'll be using on the navigation display during the flight. And let's set the range to 20 nautical miles. That's it. Now let's see if APU is still starting. Just wait for it. You will see this blue light lighting up. It takes some time, the APU to start. And here you go. So we can turn on the APU generators on, and let's turn on the APU bleed. Done. And engine bleed switches, both are on. AC voltmeter to APU. Let's see. So now you can see the voltage for the APU. So that's it. Close the doors. We didn't open any door, so just forget this option. Otherwise, you have to check the doors in this place. Now, as the plane is getting power and electricity from the APU, that is the auxiliary power unit, so we can get the GPU disconnected. So let's go here and call for the ground services and disconnect the GPU. You can see everything is working so nice, and I just love this option. Okay, now we have to set up the mode control panel, this front panel, which is the MCP. 147 is the V2 speed. So I will set 147 over here. The heading for the 36 right runway is 360. So I've just kept it at 359. And cruising altitude is 25,000. I will straight away climb to 25,000 feet. No steps. Direct. And that's it. Turn on the flight directors. Don't forget to do this, otherwise your VNAV option will not work. You will have issues. And right now, if I try the LNAV and the VNAV option, it's working perfectly all right, and everything is in a good condition. Okay. So auto throttle, yes, armed, and everything down. Okay, now generator bus. Okay, so bus transfer is off and it's covered, and let's turn on the hydraulic pumps. Anti-collision light on. Isolation valve, it's open. Altitude overhead panel, you have to set the altitude over here. So you can see the altitude is already set to 25,000 feet. And 1,750 for the landing altitude, and the pressurization mode selector is set to auto. It controls the pressurization of the cabin. If you don't set the altitude properly over here, and if you don't set it to auto during the cruise, if the pressure drops inside the plane, your pilot will black out. This happened to me yesterday and missed this check, so that's why I had an issue. So be careful with this. You have to check this option. So checked, and throttle is idle. Packs off. Okay. Let's turn off the packs because now we are going to start the engine and we need power. Okay, that's it. Release the parking brake. And can I call for the pushback? I'm not using any plugin for the pushback. I'm planning to install it. So let's see if I get time from my busy schedule. Today was a complete office day. Nowadays working from home due to this corona issue. I don't know when it will just go away. Just waiting for it to go away. And as soon as it's away, hopefully we'll get back to the normal lives. Although the life is normal, but still, if during the winters, it's a difficult time. We'll be hopefully soon out of it. Okay, so the pushback cart takes some time to come. Let's wait for it. And here is the push card or the tug. Okay, now I'm going to start the engines, and let's see one thing. After turning on the APU and turning off the packs, the pressure over here should be 30.
Here we go.
Anyhow, let's the engine start is set to right, and let's turn it to ground, and let's see if we are able to start the engines.
All right, see you next time.
Sure, have a nice day. Now I can engage the parking brakes. Okay, so N2 is above 20%. I can turn on the engine, and let's go out and see. Wonderful. Let's wait for okay, so it's stable now. I can I turn on the engine 1, which is on the left. Meanwhile, I can turn on the logo light, wing light. No, we don't need this, but it's daylight. Anyhow, just for the sake of formality. Okay, so done. I'm actually also checking the checklist. Okay, so both the engines are up and running, and let's change it to continuous for both of the engines, and I can turn off the APU. Oops. Forgot to do this. Sorry for this. Anyhow, I have mastered this technique. It's a bit complex because I've been flying the A320, and it's slightly easier than the Boeing 737, but it's really fun. If you learn how to do this, it's really fun. So I'm just really enjoying. So I've made many mistakes, but somehow I just try to get my hands on it. I can fly this plane and I can land it. I'll show it to you. Okay, so let's turn on the window heat, and superb. Everything. I'm just loving each and everything about this plane. And the yaw damper, it should be on. Let's set the flaps to 3 steps. That is 5 degrees by 3 notches. You can see flaps set to 5. Auto brake to RTO, that is a rejected takeoff, and runway lights on, and last but not the least, I have to close the cockpit door. Okay, let's close the cockpit door. All set, and let's taxi. Pushback is not really good, so I'm just going to take a direct left turn from here, and I will taxi, if you don't mind. Otherwise, I should have been facing the runway, the taxiway, other way. But anyhow, let's give it some throttle, and let's take this plane up in the air and enjoy the flight. So you can see that all the controls are working. necessary controls, or rather, I would call the basic controls that are required to learn to fly this plane, and everything is very nicely done. And honestly speaking, I'm really impressed with this plane. I'm really enjoying the flights, although my landings are not really good. I'm very bad at landings. I'm just giving you a disclaimer at the beginning of this video, rather in the middle of the video. Okay, so there is a car parked inside the hangar. If you just look at the lift. Okay. So nice and easy. I hope you'll also enjoy the flight of this plane. Do install it. There is a video on my channel, as I told you before. I did this video yesterday, and you can just go and watch that video. If you don't know how to download and install this plane, then I think it will be really useful for you. I'll also I will also post the link to this plane in the description of this video, so you can also follow that link. Let's change the time from UTC to the Pakistan Standard Time. That's 8:35 in the morning. And let's see if both clocks are synchronized. I think currently you cannot interact with the brightness of this heads-up display, but it's good. During the takeoff, you can just concentrate over here. That's the main purpose of the heads-up display, instead of looking at these screens. So we are about to reach the runway 36 right for Lahore Airport. The deaccelerated thrust is at 97.9, so I will not give 100% of the thrust, only up till 97.9. And here we are on the runway, and let's go. Oops, sorry.
$80. Rotate. Positive rate.
Gears up.
Gear up.
Oh yes. My favorite line. I really enjoy this line. Positive rate, gear up. Okay.
400.
So a nice and smooth takeoff. Very nice. And you can see at the altitude where the
1000.
thrust should be reduced, the thrust reduction altitude, the thrust will automatically reduce in this plane because of this auto throttle option. So this is also good. My vertical speed is slightly high. I will reduce it so that the plane's speed keeps on increasing and I can retract the flaps. Okay, so now the vertical speed is 2,300. And you can see the speed is also increasing. We have reached the deacceleration altitude. Thrust has been reduced to 92.4%. So the speed is increasing. I'm trying to keep the vertical speed low, and let's see if we can increase the speed of the plane. It's increasing, although we are above the mark. So I can now turn on the autopilot, and you can see now the autopilot has certainly started to climb at a very high rate in order to compensate for the speed. So the speed will be compensated. So it's really good. Everything is working. So the vertical speed is set because of this VNAV option, and everything is looking good. Let's go out and see what's happening. Nice view. This is the Ravi River. There is a video on my channel on which in which I'm crossing this river on the train. So the view of this river is from the train. It was winters. I think it was not. I think exactly. I remember it was December of 2019, just before the corona. Good old days. Without this virus. Okay, so now the plane is climbing to 25,000 feet, and you can see that the top of cruise is over here, and there's a very short distance between the top of cruise and the top of descent. Some nice views. And let's turn off these lights. We don't need them anymore. Logo light, let's anti-collision. Let's keep it on. Wing and wheel well off. Last time when I flew on this 737 was back in 2018 by Oman Air. In the Gulf, Oman Air only has the 737, Boeing 737. Otherwise, Etihad has Airbus A320. Emirates doesn't have small planes. They also always have wide body 777 and the 380. Gulf Air has Airbus A320 and I think 21 also. I think yes, Kuwait Airways has a Boeing 737. I have a video on my channel for that plane. Otherwise, the rest of the airlines are using the Airbus A320. Okay, so top of cruise is coming, and right now the plane is passing 16,000 feet mark, and soon the plane will be cruising at 25,000 feet. Today has been a long day, again a working day for me, busy in the office and then coming back and doing this video. Tomorrow is my day off on Friday and Saturday, and I will do more videos. I'm also planning to do a tutorial for the Zebo mod, and plus I will also do a tutorial. Obviously, if you know how to fly the Zebo mod, you will be able to do this, but just for the sake of having different videos, it has to be there. I forgot to set the altimeter. My bad. I will do it during the landing. Minimums, we can also set the minimums from here. but I didn't set it for this flight. Minimums is like an indication, so you set it, you don't set it, doesn't make a difference. Real life, obviously, all the procedures have to be followed, but it's flight simulator, so you can skip few things. So you can see the element of realism is there in this plane, and almost all the features are working, and it's really nice. I really enjoyed learning this plane. It has taken me like 5 to 6 days in order to repeat the procedures, because if you skip a single step, obviously the plane will not start. So it's kind of very technical. So it was really fun learning all these things, and I especially enjoy this heads-up display. It's very useful during the takeoff and landing. Although, as I told you before, my landings are really bad. And if you just click here over the over here, the glare shield, you will see a checklist also. Oops. Which you can just move around the cockpit as per your convenience, and you can see all the check list is there. Okay, and you can just click it over here, and you can store it back. So you can also follow this checklist if you want to. Have some easy access to the checklist, or you don't want to search for another checklist for this plane over the internet. Okay, so now the top of cruise is coming, and it's there, 23,400. $1,000 to go. I think we can also do the PA. Now the settings not available. They're not here. But in the Zebo mod, they're there. I think maybe we have to download it somewhere, but right now it's not working. Anyhow. You see these mountain ranges? This is the salt range. Here we have the world's largest salt mine, Kyoto. And it's amazing. There's a video on my channel in which I'm crossing this salt range when I was going to Lahore from Islamabad by road. This salt range, there's a point that known as Kalar Kaha. It's a very nice place. I think it's if I am not wrong, this patch is between 50 to 80 kilometers. It's a patch of the motorway in the mountain range, if I'm not wrong. And it's really nice. Some nice views. So this is a video on my channel, although maybe for some of you the language will be a barrier, but you will enjoy the scenery if you go into the travelog. So you can see us driving through the salt range. So the top of descent is now coming. Let's reduce the altitude to 3,000 because this is the point where we will be intercepting the glide slope. So let's set it to 3,000. Okay, and the ILS frequency is 110.704 for Islamabad International Airport while landing at 28, right? So the ILS frequency is already entered and active. And let's check the altimeter settings. So in the same brief, I just have to go here and check for the meta information, and over here the QNH is 1018. Let's go. So remember this number. We have to remember this number because I think for the Islamabad International Airport the transition altitude is 12,000. So below 12,000 feet we have to set it to 1018. So this number is now on the top of my mind, and I will try not to forget this number. So now as the altitude is set to 3000, as soon as the plane will cross the top of descent, the plane will start to descend. So everything is good so far, and it's really amazing. Amazing, nice view. Is anybody sitting inside the? Yeah, yes, the captain and the co-pilot is there, and plus the heads-up display is also on. Oh, I'm wearing sunglasses. That's good. Nice details, nice view. Let's look at from the other angle. Nice view. So a short flight, even if you try this, you want to do a short flight, then it's a good option. I always use short flights on my experimental flights, and plus when I'm doing any tutorials. Although for the last few days I'm doing the Karachi to Dubai flight. Now you can see the thrust is getting reduced, and the plane will now start to descend. I've been doing that 2.5 hours or 3 hours, two hours of flight. And now this is a nice route. I think Lahore to Islamabad, a short flight, and you can enjoy that. So far, you can see everything is working perfectly all right in this plane. I have seen some Facebook groups in which people are complaining about the LNAV and the VNAV option not getting activated. But you can see it's getting activated. All you have to do is this: you have to enter all the right information in the FMC, plus the flight directors of both captain and the co-pilot should be active, and plus the auto throttle should be armed. So these are the basic settings that you have to do, and the rest, everything will be good. You don't have to worry about anything else. How much is the wind? Oh, the wind is not coming. Oh, it's amazing. Anyhow, I would say temperature is -7 centigrade. Fuel is enough in both of the tanks. Currently, I'm not entering the VOR information over here. But if you want, you can also enter the VOR information, and you can select the VOR, and plus over here from here you can select the VOR navigation and plus the approach navigation. I always forget to switch to the approach navigation over here in this option. So today, if I remember, I will switch to this option before landing so that I can see I'm properly aligned with the runway or not. So the plane is descending. It will descend to 6,000 feet, and then afterwards, just near the runway, the descent will again start. I will be going for a full flap landing, and let's see what will be the settings for the full flap landing. Let's say if I go to this option and FMC, and if I go to index and approach, different settings. So if you have 15 degrees of flaps, you can your speed should be 161. At 30 degrees 148, and at 40 degrees you can have 141. So I will be using full flaps at 40. You can see 40 degrees, and the speed I will set to 141 knots. Sorry, I always forget to do this. Actually, this throttle keeps on going forward and backward if the throttle on your controller is not set to idle. So just one small trick: if you are using this plane, just remember to reduce the throttle to idle position on your controller so that the throttle in this plane doesn't go cuckoo. Otherwise, it goes cuckoo. I'm using the Logitech Extreme 3D Pro, which is a good controller. When I started the flight simulation back in 2015, it was the first controller, and up till now it is the last controller that I have. I'm planning to go for the Thrustmaster controller for the Airbus, and I think it also works with the Boeing 737. I haven't tried it. If you are trying it, just give me a feedback on this. Okay, now you can see this has turned yellow, so I will turn it to 1018. Let's change the units. Okay, and it's 1018. So I have also now set the barometric pressure for the altimeter. Now the altimeter will be giving me the right readings. I think in front we are seeing the Mergala Mountains. If I just get rid of this heads-up display, I will be able to see it. And soon the plane will take a left turn, and then the plane will land. So this is all the Mergala Mountains, and Islamabad is at the base of the Mergala Mountains. So it's a nice, beautiful place. It's 8:59 right now. 9 o'clock. So for the VNAV option, the deacceleration is working good. The descent is working good. The top of descent is working good. So so far I haven't seen any issue. Yesterday when the cabin pressure dropped and my pilot fainted, I was concerned. So then I just searched over the internet, and I just found out that it is really important to set the altitude over here and over here in these two options for the cruising altitude and for the landing altitude. And plus you have to set this thing to auto, this selector, the cabin pressurization selector to auto. Okay, it's difficult to say. Cabin pressurization selector. It's a bit of a tongue twister for me right now. I'm tired also. have a little headache. So I just really want to land this plane and edit this video and put it on the YouTube and then sleep. Already it's 9 o'clock, you can see. Up since the morning. Can we see the airport from here? No. Not in the site right now. There are videos on my channel on the landing and on the takeoff. I've got some good memories with the Islamabad International Airport. Although it's the airport of my home city, but my first video on the YouTube, which got my channel monetized and got so many subscribers, and which made it a success for me up till now, is that video while I'm landing in Islamabad. This airport was inaugurated on the 1st of May 2018, and my flight was on 4th of May. I was coming from Riyadh. I had a stay in Abu Dhabi for almost like 8 hours, and then in the afternoon I flew, and before the sunset I landed in Islamabad. It was a nice, beautiful weather, and I just made that video with my Huawei. I think it was P10. Yes, it was P10. And I just made the video, came back home, and I just uploaded that. Next day it had 34,000 views, and just like within the couple of few days it had crossed 100,000 mark, and I had more subscribers, like 1,000 subscribers obviously in just a duration of 1 month, and then my channel got monetized. Since then I haven't stopped making videos, but if you go into my channel, you will also see some landing videos in Islamabad and some takeoff videos. I hope you will enjoy them. You can see the indication for the ILS has also started to come. This diamond on the over here, so it's coming. And after this turn, this diamond will also come in the middle. And arm, okay. FMC speed, LNAV is on, VNAV path. Heading for the Islamabad International Airport. 28 right is 279 degrees. Although this is only useful if you switch to heading select mode and you disengage the LNAV option, then it's good. Otherwise, I'm not going to use this option. I will just go on LNAV, and as soon as we intercept the glide slope, I will go with the approach. As you can see, APP, and just like 100 feet above the ground, I will try to disengage the auto. Not try to, I will definitely disengage the autopilot, and then I will disengage or the auto throttle. That's it. One more interesting thing, you can see the lower DU display unit. You can also have navigation over here, so you can just cycle through the views. It's nice. You can also change the views over here in the navigation display in the primary flight display. Okay, so this is the turn. The speed will be reduced shortly. This is the deceleration point, and the plane is now level off, so it's better to the flaps. So the descent will start over here, so it's a good time to reduce the speed, because right now the plane is not descending. Otherwise it will be very difficult to control the speed. Some trick I use, I don't know, maybe you have a different technique, or maybe the pilots do it the other way around or with some other technique, but this is how I do it. Good option. You can easily control the speed. during the descent it's difficult to control the speed because obviously the plane is going down and it's difficult. Then you have to use the air brakes and stuff. So this is a good point. Okay, so after this point the deceleration will again start and the plane will start to descend. And now, yes, started. Nice precise systems, and the runway is just ahead of us. Can I see the runway? Oh yes. So 28 right, this is right. Oops. Wow. So this is the terminal building. I think this is the parking for the cars, not for the plane. Oh, such a nice zoom level. Okay, so the speed is now 172 knots, and I will just wait for this diamond to come over here in the middle. Then I will hit the approach button. Can I further extend the flaps? Yes. Everything is good. Level off at 3,000 feet. Now I will be activating the approach mode shortly. Okay, so gears.
Gears down, 3 greens.
I gave you a disclaimer in the beginning of this flight that my fly and landing is going to be rough. So kindly excuse me for that. Okay, so it was a safe landing.
80 knots.
Thank you very much for staying with me. I hope you enjoyed this flight and plus the landing. Today was a very smooth landing as compared to the standards that I have for the landing. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And if you have got any positive feedback, do let me know on my channel. I always love to read some positive feedback. And if you have any questions, you can ask me. I try to answer all the questions as soon as possible, as soon as I read those questions. If there is a delay, kindly excuse me for that. And plus, what else? Nothing. Thank you very much for staying with me. And don't forget to even hit that bell button, because then you will be getting the updates, because I keep on making different videos. Almost I try to do it every day. So you'll be getting the updates for this. Have a nice day. Hope to see you soon.